Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I am bringing you a 2 versus 2 in Napoleon Total War. Today we are going to be fighting on the map Lodi. Once again, it is Mikenuge and I against these guys who are clearly in the same clan, UFTW. I don't know what that means, but yep, that's their names. I'm not going to, it's just a bunch of random letters and such. But this battle, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you guys, because I told you I would bring this to you. This was Mikenuge and I's first defeat after 56 games. Undefeated. This is our first one. And it was bound to happen eventually, and I'm telling you guys off the bat that this is in fact the defeat, so that I can point out mistakes that led to this along the way. And also bear with me, I do have a little bit of a cold right now, so if my voice sounds any different, or, just that kind of deal, I've been coughing a lot and all of that, so it feels different. And so chances are it'll sound different too. But I'm going to stop moving around this camera like an idiot and read you my army. So my first mistake, both my opponents were being France and I am using Denmark. And it's not that massive of a mistake. It's just Denmark, these secondary nations, they really aren't that great statistics-wise compared to the better nations. And there is not a lot that you can do in certain situations. Your units just won't hold up, and that is a big thing in this battle. It's generally not that much of a mistake, and they're there, and I've won with them several times before, but this battle, my opponent's army, I just didn't stand a chance, as you will see. But I've got 5 of these Jaegers and sharpshooters mixed, and then a ton of line infantry. I believe 6. And then 3 lifeguards of foot, lifeguards of horse, and a dragoon unit. Mike over here is playing as Britain, and he's got quite a bit of foot. He's got a ton of infantry. All these guys here are skirmishers, and then his guards and elite units in the back, with his cavalry being up here, Royal Scots Greys. Now, this map, and I'm going to fast forward for a second through the deployment, because I don't recall this being a short battle. We fought it last week, but not 100% sure on everything. So, Mike's opponent is the Ottomans here. He's got rifles, infantry, and then some melee rush units. All that good, normal stuff. Really nice cavalry, the Salatar Guard. Silatar, whatever. However it's pronounced. Correct me if you guys know what it is, so that I know for future videos. But these are pretty much, in my opinion, from when I've used them, the best cavalry in the game. They wreck in the charge, and they have good melee stats as well. And if you watched my last battle, you saw my 4 of them take on like 8 cavalry and win. And this guy's going to start withdrawing back across the river, because France over here, now he has a grand battery somewhere. It's actually hidden in the woods. Oh no, there it is. Grand battery, 12 guns, or 8, my bad. I'm thinking 12 for some reason, but still 8 guns, quite a bit of guys there. And they're going to start firing at Mike's cav and actually get some really nice hits. Pretty much wrecking this unit. 10 kills. So what's going to happen? This map, they've got the river, they've got the choke points. So we either have to attack across that, or they have to do the same to us. They're split up, but they're close enough together that we can't actually, cut them off in time before they unite. And this guy here, my opponent, he's sending 3 Old Guard, incredible units, and then some more units, the Brave, and then eventually some skirmishers, over to my side of the battle. Now, Mike and I are debating what to do, and he's moving up over here. And I was with him at first, except now I am moving over here, because I was going to try to sweep them from this hillside, and Mike can't move forward really well because of that grand battery, and my army is not, gonna hold up to the French troops in these choke points where the better firepower wins. So I need to be able to get on the flanks. Now, so, this move was in good intention to get on the flank, My opponent's going to send over just these 3 Old Guard units, and they're going to shred like half my army in a straight shootout. They're just that excellent of units against crap units, but we'll fast forward it here for a second. Let that go on. I do have my artillery over there with Mike, because it wasn't going to move fast enough to get over here. But basically, Mike's also coming over this direction now because we don't want to have to attack through that city. We want to fight them over here in the more open fields. And the ending of this battle is actually rather funny. We knew we lost, so... Well, I'll let you guys see, but we knew the battle was over. We were making a last-ditch attempt that we knew was pretty much doomed to fail. And here, France is charging some cavalry, and I am bringing over my lifeguards of horse just to kind of make these guys stand back. But he does have guns. Guard chasseurs, a cheval, right there. And my cavalry's going to chase him away. But he's buying time, and my army's taking long enough crossing that for these Old Guard to get over here. And he now has 1, 2, 3 of them still, and a Voltigeur unit. And then here is an 18th Regiment of the Brave, another elite unit. Sorry. And, yeah, that's the cold playing in. But basically, you can see the line I'm taking up. And this guy's setting up, and I decided to still take this line, because I figured even though he had good units, I have way more, so I can just push right through. But you'll see by the time my army actually gets up here, he's going to be set up in battle lines right here. So maybe what I should have done was held back a little bit, but then I would have been choke pointed even more. And this unit here is already almost there. So I'm just going to let them keep going. And they're going to take the first volley from this Old Guard here. And their morale's pretty crap. Denmark is not a very good nation to use. You know, you want to use one of the big nations. And with these guys communicating, I should have known that I should have used a nation that would have given me a little bit more of an advantage. This move here, while probably my best option, not option, that's a funny word, fail, then moving over here, it's still, you know, just if I had a different nation, I would have had more confidence moving through there. And also, you know, you'll see here, this guy won. He's bringing forward these Dutch Guard Lancers, so he's forcing me to square. And the thing with this is, while he is forcing me to square and he's losing his cavalry, these cavalry refuse to die pretty much, and he's just tying up my line and allowing his Old Guard, the best unit France has infantry-wise, to shoot longer. So this cavalry now mines in with it, is messing it up. It's killing my rifle units, and I was sure all of these guys would have been able to shoot it down by now, like they did in other battles, but my men just kind of suck and don't want to do that. So I have to send in this cavalry unit here now to block these chasseurs à cheval again, who are lining up to actually shoot. And I'm charging over here just to get these guys into square and make them stop firing. But you can see things are not going extremely well here. I do have way more troops here, but these Old Guard are going to absolutely shred my army, and France is bringing over more units. They've got the house. Old Guard. And now he's taking up a position on this hill and bringing over his Grand Battery. So you can see this battle. At this point in time, Mike's got a cavalry unit over here, Royal Scots Greys. And I'm pretty sure he's charging these lights, which I told him not to do. But he's going to do it anyways and get shot up. So there you go, cavalry charge doomed to fail, getting shot to shreds. And on this flank you can see these 2 Old Guard units, even though they've taken losses, have excellent morale, and they're just out shooting my units here. Got my line infantry that cavalry in the back, and it's coming in for another charge, forcing me to square again, which this unit can't do because it has too few men. So I'm bringing up this life guard afoot to try to stop these guys. And my line infantry, you can just see, is taking heavy losses. And at this point, Mike's over here. We're all bringing over artillery to try to shoot these guys out of this building because he's got quite a few stocked in there. And if the building blows up while the men are in there, all those regiments die completely, which is pretty awesome. So that would have helped a lot. Maybe what I should have done was held back like here and made his men come to me so I get the first shot rather than just pressing. Because, you know, usually with Old Guard, I'm used to being able to attack with a full army and overtake 3 Old Guard in a matter of volleys, no problem. But the terrain and basically just the overall, you know, status of my army is making that not a thing. So, while in most cases being Denmark doesn't hurt you that badly, here it really truly did. But I'm going to try to bring you guys some more battles. I've done it before using the underdog nations. This time it just didn't work out, but I should have waited for some artillery support. We're blowing the crap out of this building. It's at 93%, and these guys are attempting to run out of it. We're hoping to get that one shell to at least kill this unit. And there we go. We got quite a few of them that were in there, but it's not going to be enough. This unit went from 120 to 77 because of men still inside. So had we gotten all of them, that would have been very nice. But at this point, I have pushed through on this flank, and I am, you know, flanking that Old Guard. France has another line now set up back here. And if you look at my army, I went from that massive army to this really depleted force. And look at this. That there, the cavalry really didn't do all that much to my main line infantry. All of this dead is from those 2 Old Guard units. That's like 3 or 4 units of line infantry. And, you know, in comparison to the dead on this French side, which is those Old Guard, that's, I mean, that's a ton. Those 2 units absolutely shredded me. So that's just where statistics and the, you know, type of unit plays in. Me using really crappy line infantry who, you know, I didn't have any other options, so these guys, really what you need to do if you're using this type of army is get on the flank, and this small area didn't allow me to do that, the edge of the map being right here. Otherwise, these 3 Old Guard that were originally here, against this whole force, I could have wrapped around and killed them in seconds, and I made the mistake of actually thinking I could do that here, and the terrain proved me otherwise, and those Old Guard did their damage. Definitely. I mean, that there is tons of my guys dead. That's like 2 units there. So at this point, these guys are falling back to the hill. They've got a clear advantage. The Ottomans are coming over as well. And this Ottoman guy's got his cavalry way back here. But it's at this point in time, I'm just gonna sit right here for a while, talking things over with Mike. What can we do? You know, I still have kind of an army, not a lot, but if Mike uses his army, because the British troops, some would say, are OP, they're not necessarily. The infantry is overall better than any of the other nations, the just raw line infantry. So if he uses his army right, combined with mine, we can still win this. Because, wow, France, you know, this is what's left of France. They did take losses. I took more losses, but we did manage to take down their best units. So he's just got, you know, my army can, in a straight out fight, hold long enough for Mike's superior army to probably beat the Ottomans, and then hopefully, you know, have enough to finish off what little French would be left. But they've got this massive hill here with an open field in front of it, and they've got the trees and everything. So you can kind of see where this is going. And I proposed to Mike another option, and I'll talk to that when the time comes. Not talk to that, talk about that But we're going to fast forward again as this cavalry does its thing. This is where, so far, Mike hasn't really messed up this battle. Now it's his turn. So you can see this cav, and I was warning him that this cav was incredible. He was saying, nah, it can't be that good. And I was bringing up points from our previous battles where my cavalry, you know, this exact cav force has just absolutely destroyed. And you can now see, I'll quickly show you. My guns here setting up. Mike's are setting up, but we've now got the Grand Battery firing on us. And yeah, my guns are not going to last long. That battery is just so much better. Look, just took down that unit. So just the amount of artillery rounds coming in is absolutely terrifying. So this cavalry's moving around. I thought it might have been coming to the choke point, which it passed to hit my army in the back. So I have some men facing around, and I was going to have these guys turn around if I saw that crossing taking place. Right now we're just standing on the field, but literally, you guys saw my army in the beginning. This is what's left. Not a lot. These are Mike's troops. But Mike is shuffling some guys around, and we're going to fast forward once again.
Our men are running, sir.
Because at this point, it was just us talking, what can we do? And how can we win? Because at this point in time, we do still have a chance to win. Although, that Grand Battery, a lot of times it doesn't do all that well. This battle, it got upwards of 500 kills. Most of that's going to come on later when it gets canister going. That's 8 canister guns. Okay. So if you look at this, Mike has his Coldstream Guards over here. And he turned them into square. And there was a little bit of lag and they didn't go into square. So then he made the mistake of turning them out of square to try to turn them back into it, not realizing that sometimes there is a slight delay and then they'll go into square even if the cavalry hits them because the order's been given. So now his Coldstream Guards just got charged in the back by the best cav in the game pretty much. Or, you know, the best all-around non-DLC cavalry. I don't have the cavalry DLCs, not cavalry DLCs, but, you know, any of the real DLCs for Napoleon. So, I wouldn't know about that. So that happened, and then over here, this cavalry, as I was saying, as excellent as it is, he did square with his infantry back here, but they just broke right through the square. I mean, you don't see a square there at all. These guys are pretty much screwed, and this cavalry is making pretty much short work of this Coldstream Guard unit, who is inflicting casualties. Most of the casualties actually came from that one volley to the back, and this cav's chasing off Mike's general, and now it's gonna sandwich all these guys up here. And the main reason that this is kind of funny is that you could say it's really nice maneuvering on this guy's part, and I guess it can look like that, but in reality he had his cavalry all alone back here. It was really predictable what he was going to do, and Mike actually had it set up to beat him. He just failed in his attempt at doing so, which is kind of funny. And I wonder where the flagman for this unit went. But yeah, so this cavalry should have easily been taken out, but mistakes made it successful. So that kind of sucked. You know, the guy did not show, none of these guys, Mike wasn't, you know, he was fine with losing. I was too. We just weren't kind of happy that we ended up losing to who we did, because neither of these guys showed really good micro at all. Literally, they moved a few units. That guy moved his cavalry. Besides that, they sat on this hill and waited for us. So, it was our mistakes that made us lose, and not really anything they did. But it was just a crappily played battle on our part. But, you know, it was inevitable that we would lose eventually. So, we weren't all that mad with it, and we were happier that it was actually our fault than that of a really good opponent. But that's bound to happen eventually here soon too, so whenever we lose, I'll show it to you guys. It's just we hadn't yet, so that's why I wasn't, you know, showing any losses. I don't mind, hence why I'm bringing you guys this, because you learn a lot more from your mistakes than your victories often, because once you lose, you know what it is you're doing wrong. And here, what our tactics could have worked, they were just poorly executed. But now you can see once again, this cavalry just messing around in the back. So I'm going to fast forward once more. You guys can just kind of watch. What's going to happen is Mike's going to start moving his troops. And, sorry about that, guys. I got interrupted, but no big deal. So we'll fast forward this once again. You can see Mike's now bringing his army over. I'm trying to bring this back to the climactic end. And there's the cavalry. Let me show you this. So over here, let me just explain. This unit somehow was hidden. And Mike, it has to have had to do with the tall grass, maybe? I don't know. But none of the rest of his troops were able to hide over here. So he doesn't quite know. We don't know what it was. But this unit's hidden. So Mike's baiting with his artillery, making it look like there's a gap right here to allow, you know, this cav to take out the artillery, which it finds extremely important. And over here, just warning off as they cross. So this gonna come over here. These guys are gonna stand up and shoot, and this cavalry's gonna stop as it realizes it is charging into a trap. And there you go. Now, Mike's gonna pretty much leave his artillery to die because, and this may have been a dumb thing to do actually, but in reality it wasn't going to do much. Ottomans here, who have incredible artillery, have the 18-pounder foot artillery, so that's going to wreck it. Not to mention, it would be 4 guns versus 12, so that's not going to happen. This unit here going to destroy, and that's pretty much going to be the end of anything that the British artillery can do. It's already taking hits again, just lost 1 gun. But that cavalry's still back there. Now, at this point, my proposal, and Mike, it was like 4 a.m. where he was in Britain, so he was a little impatient and didn't want to go for it, because he's like, well, it would take like 20 minutes, and it probably would have. But what I figured was all the artillery, you know, he's like, we're just going to attack up here. My army sucks, and it's going to be used as, you know, cannon fodder. Go in first, get a few shots, then hopefully Mike's army can take out whatever's left. That was a terrible plan. We both knew it. We just were like, hey, it's going to be like a Pickett's charge, for those of you who know the Civil War. You know, just charge straight across an open field into artillery fire and guns. And that was what we're gonna do. But what I proposed is maybe leave 1 or 2 units with me just to bulk this up. Mainly skirmishing units. That's what I need. And he should march his army now, because they've settled on that hill. He should march either across here, although this could be risky because they could send units down and just kind of blockade that, or around through the 2 crossings in the back here, and then from there he could attack there. And I was actually proposing both of our armies go here, but you know, then it would have been more undulated ground, and not quite as much of a hill advantage for them, and it would have been a wider battlefield, you know, less of the choke points, because this here is one big choke point. Clear open ground to attack from. Over here, I just felt we would have had a better chance, and had we done that, we might have actually won, but due to the fact he wanted to go to bed, we're just gonna charge. So, you know, we definitely, this battle's not over yet, and we probably could have, depending on what we did, pull off a win. And you can see this artillery is now gone, just shredded by the cavalry, which is sitting back here. But it's not, so we're gonna go ahead and charge and end it, which I still hold to as a dumb idea, and we fully knew at the time it was. You know, my proposal of going around the back, even if they went and took those choke points, over there, we probably could have pushed through before the artillery was effectively set up, because that stuff is slow to move. And if I had stayed over here and had he done that, it would have pulled the Ottomans away. And my army at this point in time, France, they've got these 4 line infantry units and skirmishers. But, you know, the thing is, even had I not won due to the 5 skirmishers hidden here and that, Mike probably could have beaten this Ottoman guy one-on-one, no problem with his army. And I would have done a severe amount of damage to what's left over here, and chances are we would have won. So, now you can see we're going forward. My army's up front. You can see the artillery fire going in. And I'll fast forward it till the very final ending charge. You can see the skirmishers moving about. My skirmishers are going first because there's barely any of them left, so I want them to take that first shot. And we're under the artillery fire, and from here I'll let it roll. So you can see Mike's British army filling out behind mine. Here comes the first volleys. I have to keep running just because, you know, they have the range. So pretty soon here, these guys are going to get orders to continue moving up. French guns here are going to start firing soon. Canister shot. And right now, I mean, that shot was kind of effective. It's a little bit out of range. Got all that, though. But, well, actually, it got a lot. But as we get closer, it's just going to get worse and worse. It's like a giant shotgun. So right now, my guys are going to start opening fire. That canister just shredded this flank. And you can kind of just see what's going on, the British backing up. This hill doesn't look very big, and it's not incredibly large, but that is not a fun position to take just because of the, you know, approach we're taking. And pretty soon this Janissary rush is gonna come. And these guys aren't upgraded. This would have been really easy to beat. Like, I am almost 100% certain, almost, that had we gone around the back, we almost certainly would have won. This was a terrible approach to take, and it came down to, you know, just we didn't have the time to stay and do that. And this little bit of cavalry's now coming around. I was like, Mike, watch out for your general, bro. Sitting back there, that cav's still alive. You guys can see this. Mike's lines here are sitting in the back and just kind of taking stray shots. So I was just like, yeah, this can't happen, because look, this canister is actually taking a toll on these men. You can see the dead. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to melee charge, and you got to move up and start shooting. I don't care if you shoot my men. I've just got to distract. So here goes my men forward. Really, I should have just charged right from the beginning, because I've taken so much fire now. What could have happened is my units would have still been, you know, close to full. They probably would have gotten here and at least tied this up in melee so Mike could shoot it. Here goes these guys. They're not going to make it. I'm trying to hit the artillery. They're taking losses along the way. You can see the men dropping. And right when they're about to hit the artillery, you're gonna die, men. Come on. You're dying on the way out. Why not just go in and... Yeah, now the canister shots. So it's just a... Okay, guys, my game just crashed there for no apparent reason. I got some strange pop-up or whatever. So basically, I am lazy and don't want to sit through that replay to that point again. But as I zoomed out there in the end, you could see all of Mike's army and how the morale was in the red. So basically, his army's, you know, it's going to start going forward. There's literally like 4 seconds left in that battle. Everything's just going to rout. So that's our version of Pickett's charge on Lodi. We had, you know, opportunities to win, but really what lost it for us was, you know, at the end, we knew when we were doing that we were losing, that we had other ways to take it to win. But, you know, those would take time. We put ourselves in the position through several mistakes that allowed them to actually set up the way we did and make our time constraint come up on us. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. The main moral of the story there is don't screw up. And, you know, I mean, besides that, there wasn't a whole lot we did wrong except for the purposeful charge into death at the end. Because if you guys compare that to our other battles, that, well, we always attack. That is not something we do. We don't just charge straight into a fortified position. We might charge at an angle, but not straight. And an angle can still be pretty stupid, but oftentimes we work the flanks away, or sometimes, you know, feint towards the flank and then bust through the center. But yeah, that's the first defeat. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I was about to say, I hope I will have more for you soon. Hopefully they won't be defeats. I actually have some more replays of what we played after that. Let us see. Yeah, that's that one, and then after that came these, and because, you know, in Shogun, when you click on these, it tells you all the stats of the battle. So I've started naming mine differently, and then whenever I record all of these, you know, I go through them, then I delete them all and I start over. That's why it's battle number 7 and 8 that you'll see next. I start over at 1. These are all played. These 3 I've actually uploaded a long time ago, and then we didn't play, and then we played these 3 battles, and we need to play some more soon. And this one you guys saw too. That was, wow, that was a long time back. What was that? That was back in August, huh? Okay. But, guys, hope you enjoyed. I will have more Napoleon Total War for you soon. If I have another defeat, expect that. I've pretty much uploaded every battle we've done from when I started recording Napoleon again and saving replays, because we had like 20 or so before that. But, you know, sometimes the battles just aren't good. It's like, you know, 2 people who just suck, just steamroll, or they're really long. And, you know, some of the fun battles for us are really, really long, 1-2 hours, and, you know, every 12 minutes or so you'll have 2 units fighting, cav unit go in, that kind of deal. But that's just boring to watch, so, you know, that kind of stuff I don't show. But for the 3rd time, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time with more.